Before the lion roared as king, the jungle was a kingdom without a crown. Dawn spilled over endless green, where every beast claimed dominion, but none could unite the whole. The elephants moved like living mountains, their tusks gleaming, their heavy steps reshaping the riverbanks and paths they crossed. Tigers prowled in silence, their stripes vanishing into foliage, hunters that seemed more spirit than flesh. From the heavens, eagles soared, eyes sharper than blades, spotting the twitch of a tail from miles above. In muddy rivers, crocodiles lurked as if carved from stone, their jaws snapping shut with the weight of centuries. Herds of buffalo clashed, tusks and horns colliding, echoing thunder across valleys. Leopards paced through the tall grass, their bodies coiled with restless power. Even smaller creatures, monkeys, boars, birds, fought, stole, and screamed for survival. Each ruled their moment, the elephant with strength, the tiger with fear, the eagle with vision. But each moment passed quickly, and none could command respect beyond their reach. Chaos reigned. The jungle was magnificent, alive, yet fractured, a land waiting for unity, waiting for a crown. The dawn light revealed not a kingdom, but a battlefield of pride, and in its heart echoed a question left unanswered. Who among them could rise above rivalry and be more than just beast? One night beneath a swollen moon, the jungle stirred with unease. At the center of a great clearing, a circle of ancient stones glimmered silver in the light. From every corner of the wilderness, the beasts gathered, not in peace, but in rivalry, for the jungle had grown restless without a crown. The elephant came first, tusks like ivory spears, each step shaking the ground. Its voice boomed, "Who dares challenge my strength? No beast carries the weight of my power." From the shadows slipped the tiger, stripes burning against moonlight. Its growl echoed, "Strength is blind without silence. I kill before the earth even knows I walk." Above them all, wings stretched wide, the eagle perched upon twisted branches, its gaze burned like fire. "You crawl, you stalk, but I see all," it declared. "From the skies, every secret is mine to claim." Then came the crocodile, jaws clattering like stone gates, the leopard pacing, claws scoring the earth, the boar stamping and snorting in fury. One after another, voices rose in boast, each proclaiming supremacy, none willing to bow. The clearing rang with trumpets, growls, screeches, a storm of pride. But though power shook the ground, the jungle remained divided. None spoke of duty, only dominance. And in the shadows, apart from the circle, sat another. A lion, quiet, watchful, not the largest, not the strongest, not the most cunning, but his eyes were steady, and in his silence lay something greater than pride. The council had gathered to crown a ruler, but pride alone would never win a kingdom. As the boasts of strength and cunning filled the clearing, there was one who had not spoken. A lion sat apart from the circle, not draped in shadows by fear, but by choice. His mane caught the silver of the moon, not yet a crown, but a halo of quiet dignity. He did not trumpet like the elephant, nor prowl like the tiger, nor claim the heavens like the eagle. He simply listened. For lions knew something the others did not. They were not hunters of solitude, but of unity. His pride fought together, lived together, bled together. In his silence, the lion remembered the hunts when he stood last against charging buffalo to shield the pride. He remembered the nights when his roar alone drove away intruders and predators, a warning for miles. Unlike the eagle's sight or the tiger's stealth, his gift was courage, the courage to bear the weight of many, not just himself. Around him the council raged, voices colliding like storms, but the lion remained calm. His stillness was not weakness, but patience, and though no beast yet bowed to him, there were those who glanced his way. The monkey paused its chatter, sensing something steady. The leopard's restless pacing slowed, eyes flicking toward the lion's still form. Even the eagle tilted its head as if searching deeper into that silence. For the jungle did not know it yet, but its king was not to be crowned in words of pride, nor in boasts of might. Its king would be revealed in action, in the trial yet to come. The lion waited, his gaze steady, as though he already knew his moment was written in the moonlight. Then it came, not by tooth or claw, but by flame. From the dry winds of the east, fire swept the jungle. Sparks leapt like angry spirits, turning branches into torches. The clearing, once a battlefield of boasts, became a stage of terror. Animals shrieked as smoke choked the air. Elephants trumpeted in panic, their massive feet scattering dust, but powerless against the inferno. The tiger slunk back into shadows, its stealth useless against a fire that saw all. The eagle soared high, but smoke rose higher still, blinding the sky. Crocodiles plunged into rivers, yet flames leapt across banks, hemming them in. The jungle that had been their kingdom now burned as an enemy. It was then the serpent of shadows came forth, a massive python, long whispered in myths, writhing through fire as if born of it. It slithered toward the helpless, cubs, fawns, smaller creatures trapped by flames. The mighty hesitated, the strong fled, the clever hid. But the lion rose, his mane caught sparks of fire, his breath thick with smoke. Yet he moved forward, not away. With a roar, he leapt at the serpent, claws striking, fangs tearing. Around him, flames roared like an army, but his own roar cut through it. For the first time, the council saw not pride, but sacrifice, not dominance, but duty. The lion fought not for himself, but for all, and though his body burned with smoke and heat, his courage burned brighter. The fire raged, but it could not consume that roar. In the chaos, a truth was written into the jungle's memory. Its ruler was not the one who boasted, but the one who bled for others. Smoke still curled above the clearing, the fire reduced to smoldering embers. The serpent of shadows lay broken, its coils stilled by the lion's claws. Around the clearing, the mighty beasts stood frozen, their voices silenced, not by fear, but by awe. The lion, scarred and heaving, dragged himself to the center. His mane was charred, his body bruised, yet his eyes burned brighter than the flames that had nearly consumed them all. And then he lifted his head to the heavens. From deep within his chest rose a sound older than time itself. A roar. It split the night, thunder rolling across valleys, mountains and rivers. Birds startled from trees miles away, Herds stopped mid-run. Even the winds seemed to bow before it. For this was no roar of hunger, no roar of conquest. It was the roar of protection, the promise of order, the claim of a king. The jungle itself seemed to pause, listening, as if recognizing its new voice. The council bowed their heads one by one. The elephant lowered its trunk in respect. The tiger's tail stilled. The eagle folded its wings. They saw in the lion not just courage, but sacrifice, not pride, but duty. And though his body bore wounds, his roar carried strength enough for all. Science tells us a lion's roar can travel 5 miles across the savannah, shaking the earth and warning all who hear it. But on that night, it carried further still. It carried into memory, into legend. The jungle had found its king, not because he sought power, but because he carried the weight of every creature upon his shoulders. His roar echoed long after the flames died, a crown of sound placed upon his head. When the echoes of the lion's roar faded, the jungle stood in silence. What had begun as a council of rivals had become the birth of a kingdom. The beasts gathered once more in the moonlit clearing, but this time their voices were no longer raised in boast or threat. They came with heads lowered, each carrying not pride, but respect. The elephant stepped forward first. The giant bent its massive knees, lowering its tusks until they touched the ground before the lion. Strength without courage is nothing, it rumbled. The tiger followed, shoulders tense but tail lowered, bowing its head. Stealth without heart is hollow. From above, the eagle descended, wings folding as it perched close to the lion. Even vision must kneel before bravery. One after another, the beasts yielded. The crocodile sank low, the leopard crouched in reverence, the monkey lowered its chattering voice. In the circle of stones, unity was born, and so the lion was crowned, not with gold or jewels, but with the dawn itself, spilling light across his mane. They called him not ruler of fear, but guardian of the wild. Across ages, humans too would remember this night. In Africa, tribes told of lions as protectors. In Egypt, the goddess Sekhmet carried the face of a lioness, embodiment of power. In medieval halls, kings bore lions on their banners, symbols of justice and strength. But here, in this ancient clearing, it was not myth nor history, it was truth. The lion, once silent, now stood as king of the jungle, and every creature, great and small, bowed not to his roar alone, but to the courage that made it eternal. And so, the lion was crowned, not by jewels, but by the respect of every creature that walked, crawled, or flew. His kingdom was not built of walls or thrones, but of courage. Yet the story did not end in that clearing. It carried forward, echoing through time. Tribes across Africa told tales of lions as guardians, protectors of land and people. In Egypt, the goddess Sekhmet bore the head of a lioness, her fury and strength worshipped as divine justice. In Europe's medieval courts, lions became emblems upon banners and shields, chosen by kings who sought to borrow their majesty. Even in stories whispered to children, the lion remained a symbol of bravery, of leadership, of kingship earned, not taken. Science reminds us that lions are unique among cats. They live not as solitary hunters, but as families, prides, bound by loyalty and cooperation. Their roars carry for miles, not to boast alone, but to unite, to defend, to protect. And so, when we call the lion the king of the jungle, it is more than a phrase. It is memory, it is myth, it is history. The jungle still listens to that ancient roar, carried not just by the wind, but by every story ever told of courage. For kingdoms rise and fall, but the lesson remains. True kingship is not taken by claw, nor given by fear. It is earned by sacrifice. And so, when dawn breaks and the lion roars across the horizon, remember this: you are hearing not just a beast, but the voice of the first king, chosen by the jungle and crowned by the ages.